Hello friends, this is Dr. Vijay Kumar. I am welcoming you all in my lecture on heritability part 2. Please see description section of this video for heritability part 1 and videos related to breeding value and component of variances. I have put very less text on this slide during this lecture. For making notes, a student may get complete text in the last of this lecture. So, as in the first part of this topic, in the first video related to heritability, I have already discussed the introduction, definition, types and general features related to heritability. In the part 2, in this video, I will discuss myth or misconceptions attached with heritability, importance and use of heritability. In the third part, in the next video, I will discuss different methods for estimation of heritability. So, let's first do the first part, myth related to heritability. In this section, I will discuss important misconceptions attached to the heritability concept. And the first myth is, if a character is genetically controlled. In my previous video, I suggest that every character is controlled by gene. Every character is controlled by some gene, either one or two or maybe several genes. But if a character is genetically controlled, we generally suppose that it is heritable. That is, heritability of the character is something greater than 0 or less than 1. But this is not the case all the times. When we assume that a character is heritable, what we really mean that the differences in performance for the trait is heritable. Again, I am repeating, when we assume that a character is heritable, what we really mean that the differences in the performance for that trait are heritable. Some characters show no phenotypic differences. There are several characters. For those characters, no phenotypic differences. I will explain it with the help of some examples. There are several characters. For them, there is no phenotypic differences, and so are not heritable, even though they may be completely genetically controlled. These traits, which are not showing differences among individuals, but at the same time they are genetically controlled. For clarification, consider the trait number of legs in horses. Horses have 4 legs, and we can say that all horses are born with 4 legs. Number of legs is certainly genetically determined. It is coded somewhere in every horse DNA. But because differences in leg number do not exist, the trait is not heritable. But in contrast to leg number, leg length exist both genetic and phenotypic differences among horses. For leg number, there is no phenotypic differences between individuals among individual in the population. But when we consider leg length, definitely we will get differences among individuals in the population. We can measure the strength of relationship between breeding value and phenotypic values for this trait. For the length of leg, certainly we will get measure of strength of relationship between breeding value and phenotypic value. So leg length in horse is heritable, extremely heritable. Similarly, all quantitative traits show heritability, but qualitative traits, in qualitative traits, differences among individual is very less, and for some traits like number of eyes, number of legs, the traits which have fixed number, they are not heritable. Now come to the second myth attached to the heritability concept. It is sometimes supposed that if heritability of a trait is high, then breeding value for that trait will also be high. But this is not true. High heritability signifies only that there is a strong relationship between phenotypic values and breeding values for that trait. What high heritability tells? High heritability only tells there is a strong relationship between phenotypic value and breeding value. In spite of some magnitude of heritability of a trait, there may be high breeding values, average breeding values, and low breeding values in the population. Now, come to the next myth. Breeders generally discuss the heritability of speed of horses, heritability of egg production in layers, heritability of litter size in pig, heritability of milk production in cattle. So, heritability is a population measure, not a value to be associated with an individual animal. This is very important to understand. Heritability is based on population. Heritability is a population parameter. Sometime in Viva, when we asked a student, tell how you can calculate heritability for a single animal. Generally, we are giving some values, some records to the student. You have this record, then answer how you will calculate heritability for this particular animal. A student start replying, sir, we will take this information, we require this information, then only we can estimate heritability. First of all, heritability is a population parameter. For single individual, you can't estimate heritability. Heritability is based upon the differences among individuals in a population. If you have only one individual, then how you will get differences among individual. So this is very important to understand. Heritability is a population parameter. A single animal do not have heritability. It would be an incorrect use of the parameter to assume a particular animal's heritability for a character. This is the last important myth attached with heritability. The heritability of a trait is not fixed. Generally, we think we estimated heritability in a population, then we can use this value any time for any population. But this is not true. Heritability of a population is not fixed. It varies from population to population. When population change, then in that case genetic variance will also change, environmental variance will also change, your phenotypic variance will also change. When these value will change, certainly your heritability value will be changed, because the formula of heritability is Vg divided by Vp in the case of broad sense of heritability, and Va divided by Vp in the case of narrow sense of heritability. So heritability varies from population to population, environment to environment, and it also changes with time. Now we will discuss importance of heritability. Importance of heritability for knowing genetic variations. Heritability provides a measure of genetic variation. Knowledge of its magnitude of heritability gives the idea about the scope of effective genetic improvement through selection. When we have idea about the value of heritability, then properly we can apply selection technique. If heritability is high, then individual selection you can apply. If heritability is low, then you can't apply individual selection. Some other methods which we will discuss later in this video will be applied. So heritability tells very much about genetic variations, and the source of genetic variation will be used during selection procedure. During selection we can know whether this genetic variation is additive or non-additive. If it is additive, then we can apply certain types of selection techniques. If it is non-additive, then some other selection techniques will be used. Now second, other importance of heritability is related to selection, heritability and selection. Heritability is very important for improving economic traits by selection. The goal of selection is to choose those animals with the top of breeding value. For this, breeders need good information about the candidates for selection, because the only information available is the phenotypic information. The strength of relationship between phenotypic values and breeding value, that is heritability, is very meaningful here. During this we will have to, I will explain this, we will have to understand these things. When we visit in a farm, we do not have genetic values for the animals, we only have phenotypic values, and on the basis of phenotypic value we will have to select animals. But for selection, breeding value is very important. It might be possible an individual having very good phenotypic value, but genetic values, breeding value for that particular animal is not very good. That animal will not produce very good progeny. The good performance of that animal is because of environment, and any superiority due to environment will not transmitted to the next generation. So knowledge of breeding value is important. But what we have in the herd, we have phenotypic value. So relationship between phenotypic value and breeding value is very important, and this relationship will be achieved by study of heritability. Heritability will guide us whether the relationship is strong or weak. If heritability is high, then in that case the relationship between phenotypic value and breeding value will be high. If heritability is low, then in that case relationship between phenotypic value and breeding value will be low. In the first case, in the case of high heritability, we can adopt phenotypic value blindly. If phenotypic value is good, then we can assume yes, breeding value for that animal will also be good. If heritability is close to zero, the population will show very little response to selection. If heritability is close to zero, that means the trait is not heritable. In that case, the population will show very little response to selection, no matter how strong the selection. When heritability is high, just the opposite is the case. An animal performance is a good indicator of its breeding value. In the case of high heritability, an animal performance is a good indicator of its breeding value. Accuracy of selection is therefore good, and genetic gain is rapid. Magnitude of heritability reveals the choice of the selection method. For high heritability traits, individual selection is generally advised. If heritability value is very high, in the case of carcass trait, for those traits which appears very late in life, the trait related to a skeletal measurement, for these high heritable traits, generally individual selection is advised. When heritability is low, the individual selection is not effective. In that case, family selection is used. The benefit of using pedigree and progeny information under family selection, in family selection we are using family information. So the benefits of using pedigree and progeny information is very useful. By using pedigree and progeny information, we can increase our accuracy of selection. When heritability is low, then for increasing, in that case, for increasing accuracy of selection, we are taking other information besides individual information. We are also using some family member information for selection. For example, progeny information, pedigree information, SIV information. These informations are used. Now, another importance, heritability and accuracy of selection. Role of heritability in accuracy of selection. Heritability gives a measure of the accuracy with which the selection for a genotype can be made from phenotype of the individual. When we are selecting individual on the basis of phenotype, in that case, heritability value gives an idea about the accuracy of selection. For example, in individual selection, the accuracy of selection measured in the terms of correlation between breeding value and phenotypic value. Again, I am repeating. In the case of individual selection, when we are applying individual selection, in that case, accuracy of selection is measured by estimation of correlation between breeding values and phenotypic value. And this value, you can estimate this value by square rooting the heritability. When you square root heritability, you will find correlation between breeding value and phenotypic value. So, under individual selection, how accurate is the individual selection, you will get an idea by simple H value. H square is heritability, and when you square root H square, that is simple H, then you will get the accuracy of selection in the case of individual selection. Now, another importance of heritability. Heritability is also used for the estimation of breeding value. For when we are estimating breeding value, generally we are applying some formula, and that formula, for that certain formula, heritability is also used in that formula. So heritability is very important for the estimation of breeding value. Importance of heritability in management of herd, in management of livestock herd. Heritability tells the breeder how much confidence to place in the phenotypic performance when choosing parents of the next generation. This is the basic thing what we are doing in a herd for the improvement. We just select the best parents from the population, and here heritability helps us a lot. How heritability helps, we will see here. For high heritable traits, the animal phenotype is a good indicator of breeding value. We generally try to select individual on the basis of breeding value, but generally we do not have the exact breeding value. So we do it indirectly. In case of high heritable trait, where the relationship between phenotypic value and breeding value is very high, in that case we indirectly select animal using phenotypic value, and automatically the animal with high breeding value selected. For low heritable traits, an animal's performance is less useful. in identifying the individual with the best genetic makeup. So, as a rule, generally breeder try to select those traits. They just try to make their selection on the basis of those traits which are highly heritable. And benefit of doing this is that when they are selecting high heritable traits, improvement comes very fast. As selection is less effective for low heritable traits like reproduction and fertility related traits, breeders do not apply selective breeding techniques for improvement. Breeder apply selective breeding techniques in the case of high heritable traits. The traits which are low heritable, in that case, breeders generally do not apply selective breeding techniques for improvement. Then how they made improvement in for those traits? They made improvement in those traits by improving managemental practices. By improving managemental practices, for example, by improving housing, by improving environment, temperature, humidity, by improving nutritional status, they can improve that particular trait which is low in heritability. Now, how heritability is important for selecting mating system? For high heritable traits, apply selective breeding. For example, mating of the best to the best. Mating between best animal produce the better progeny. So, in case of high heritable traits, you mate best with the best. For low heritable traits, the low heritable traits indicates non-additive gene action. In such condition, it is necessary to use special method. Some special methods are used when non-additive gene action is working. These special methods are inbreeding, crossbreeding. These methods are used for the improvement. Now we will see use of heritability. We have 4-5 uses of heritability. One by one we will see. Now, use of heritability in knowing whether heredity or environment is important for a trait. So, for knowing this, broad sense heritability is useful, as we know that this I explained in the last video, that estimate of broad sense heritability measures the relative influence of heredity versus environment to the phenotypic variations. What is the basic cause behind the phenotypic variation? This we will know by broad sense heritability. If this heritability is high, then in that case we can say that heredity, gene is more important. If broad sense heritability is low, in that case we can say that environment is more important. When heredity is more important, we will adopt certain other type of approach for improvement. When environment is important for variation, in that case we will adopt some other managemental for other we will use some other approaches like improving management. When heredity is important, in that case, we may apply individual selection. We may use some special techniques like inbreeding or crossbreeding. So, heritability certainly helps breeder for knowing whether heredity or environment is important for a trait. Now, this is second use of heritability to know type of gene action and for taking decisions about breeding plans. Different economic traits of livestock may be influenced to different extent by additive and non-additive genetic effects. Some economic traits are mainly controlled by additive gene action. Some other traits are generally controlled by non-additive genetic effects. So different economic traits are influenced by different gene action. A comparison of values of broad sense and narrow sense heritability indicates a comparison of values of broad sense and narrow sense heritability indicates the relative importance of additive and non-additive genetic variance. Earlier, we see that a trait may be influenced by additive or non-additive gene action. But how we will know whether this trait is influenced by additive or non-additive? This we will know by comparison of values of broad sense and narrow sense heritability. A high value of narrow sense heritability shows the importance of additive genetic variance. Again I am repeating, a high value of narrow sense heritability shows the importance of additive genetic variance. If additive genetic variation is more important, selection within a population, for example, intra-population selection will be more effective. Now, this is very important to understand. If narrow sense heritability is high, it tells us additive genetic variance is more, and in that case we can use intra-population selection within population. If heritability in broad sense is considerably higher, if broad sense heritability is significantly higher than narrow sense heritability, what it means? It means that non-additive genetic variance has more influence than additive genetic variance for that trait. If broad sense heritability is much higher than narrow sense heritability, it means non-additive genetic variance is much more than additive genetic variance. Now, in this case, when non-additive genetic variance is much higher than additive genetic variance, when non-additive genetic variance is more important, special breeding schemes that make use of non-additive genetic variance, these special breeding schemes uses these special breeding schemes use dominance, epistatic effect for a trait. And examples of these special breeding schemes are inbreeding and crossbreeding. These inbreeding and crossbreeding techniques will be more effective in this condition. So here we see that the values of these two types of heritability, the values of heritability and in broad sense and heritability in narrow sense, help in determining the type of gene action governing a trait and consequently in making decision for adopting breeding plans for the improvement. Now some other use of heritability for making choice of selection program. Estimate of heritability is required for the formulation of effective selection program for genetic improvement of a trait. Selection of individuals on the basis of their own performance is one of the simplest basis of selection and is recommended for high heritable traits. Individual selection is the most simple method of selection in animal breeding, and this is applied when heritability of a trait is high. On the other hand, if the heritability of a trait is low, the phenotype of an animal would be a poor indicator of its breeding value. This thing I have discussed several times. If heritability of a trait is low, then in that case phenotype is not reflecting the breeding value. Phenotype is not giving any indication about breeding value. For low heritability traits, therefore, some other schemes of selection, for example, selection on the basis of family or progeny performance will be more effective. I explained this earlier. When heritability is low, in that case accuracy of selection will also be low. For increasing accuracy of selection, we will have to select individual on the basis of many more informations. Besides individual's phenotypic information, we also include family information and progeny performance information. Now this is the last important use of heritability. Heritability is also used for estimation of prediction of genetic gain. The amount of genetic improvement expected due to selection for a trait which is known as genetic gain or response to selection is predicted from heritability. This is the formula. The magnitude of genetic gain for a trait, this is equal to the product of heritability and selection differential. So this is all for this video, for today's video, and now I will show the complete text for making notes. This will be helpful for the student. So this is the complete text. You can make your notes by using this text. These slides will be very helpful. By pausing your video, you can write down all the lecture for making class notes. If you have any query, you can write me in the comment section for clarification. I will clarify your doubts. You can also write me suggestions for choosing topics and for improving my video in the future. So this is all about this lecture. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.